Hi and welcome. To master English, focus on four skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Listen to English daily, podcasts, videos, or music help. Speak often, even to yourself. Read simple books or articles. Write a little every day, like a journal. Practice each skill a bit every day. They support each other and build your fluency. Stay consistent and don't worry about mistakes, keep going and you'll improve. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Master English Podcast. I'm Clara.
And I'm Jake. Today's episode is really important for anyone learning English. We're diving deep into the four core skills you need to master the language: listening, speaking, reading, and writing.
Right. These four skills are the foundation of communication, and if you want to become fluent or even just confident in English, you need to work on all of them, not just one or two. And today, instead of just giving you quick tips, we're going to take our time and really explore each skill.
So, let's kick it off with listening, something that might seem passive, but it's actually super active and incredibly important.
Listening is where language learning begins. Think about how babies learn to talk. They don't start by speaking, reading, or writing. They just listen. For months, all they do is listen to the sounds around them. They listen to the rhythm, the tone, and the patterns of the language. Eventually, their brain starts to connect meaning to those sounds. That's why listening should be a daily habit.
Exactly. But here's the mistake a lot of learners make: they only listen to things they understand. And while that feels comfortable, it's not how you grow. To really improve your listening skills, you need to push yourself a bit. Try listening to things that are just slightly above your current level. That could be podcasts, interviews, YouTube videos, or even series and movies.
But don't just listen passively while you're doing the dishes or scrolling through your phone. You need to listen actively. That means focusing on what you hear. One great technique is shadowing. You play a sentence, then pause and repeat it out loud, trying to match the speaker's rhythm and pronunciation.
Another trick is using subtitles. First, watch a short video with English subtitles. Then, watch it again without subtitles and see how much you understand. Over time, you can move to watching videos with no subtitles at all. You're training your ears to recognize natural speech, which is different from textbook English.
And remember, you're not trying to catch every single word. You're trying to get the overall message. With time, your brain will naturally start to understand more. Just be patient and consistent.
Alright, moving on to speaking. I think speaking is the skill that most learners are nervous about. What do you think?
Oh, definitely. People are afraid of making mistakes, sounding funny, or not knowing what to say. But let's be honest, no one becomes fluent without practicing speaking. It's just like learning to play an instrument. You can study music theory all you want, but unless you pick up the guitar and play, you won't improve.
Exactly. And the good news is, you don't need to wait until your English is perfect to start speaking. In fact, you should start right away. Even simple sentences are fine. Talk to yourself in the mirror, describe what you're doing around the house, or retell a story you heard in English.
And if you have the chance to speak with real people, even better. Find a language partner, join an English conversation club, or talk to a tutor online. And here's something important: when you speak, try to focus more on fluency than on accuracy. Don't stop every second to think about grammar. Just keep talking. Grammar can be fixed later.
Another thing that helps is using phrases or sentence starters. For example, instead of trying to create every sentence from scratch, learn chunks like "in my opinion, I believe that," or "one thing I noticed was." These phrases give your brain a structure to follow, and it makes speaking smoother.
And don't forget to record yourself. It might feel strange, but when you play it back, you'll notice pronunciation errors or weak areas that you can fix. It's one of the best ways to track your progress.
Now let's talk about reading. Reading helps you absorb vocabulary, sentence structure, and grammar in a way that's natural and often more effective than memorizing rules.
Yes, And reading doesn't have to be boring or difficult. The trick is to find material that interests you and is just slightly above your current level. That could be stories, news articles, blogs, or even comic books. If you enjoy what you're reading, you're more likely to stick with it.
And you don't have to read a whole book in one sitting. Even reading a short paragraph each day helps. As you read, highlight new words or phrases. Try to guess the meaning from context before looking it up in a dictionary. Then write them down and try to use them in your own sentences later.
Another great technique is reading aloud. This actually helps with both reading and speaking. When you read aloud, you improve your pronunciation and fluency. And you start to get a feel for how English sentences are built.
I also recommend rereading. If you read something once, you understand it. But if you read it again a few days later, you notice new details, vocabulary, and grammar patterns that you missed the first time.
And remember, the more you read, the more natural English becomes. You'll start to recognize correct grammar, learn how different tenses are used, and pick up useful expressions without even trying.
Finally, let's dive into writing. Writing is often the slowest skill to improve, but it's also one of the most powerful. It gives you time to think, organize your ideas, and reflect on what you've learned.
That's right. You don't have to start with long essays. Begin small. Write a sentence or two about your day. Describe a picture. Or write about what you learned in this podcast. The point is to make writing a daily habit.
And once you're comfortable, try writing paragraphs or short stories. Use new vocabulary that you've learned from reading or listening. Try different sentence structures. Writing is like a lab where you experiment with the language.
A great way to practice writing is journaling. Just a few lines each night in English can make a big difference over time. And if you can, share your writing with someone who can give you feedback. Even small corrections help a lot.
Also, don't edit while you write. Just let your ideas flow. After you finish, go back and check for mistakes. Use tools like Grammarly to help you catch spelling and grammar errors, but don't rely on them completely.
Writing forces you to slow down and really think about the language. That's what makes it powerful. It's where you truly become a creator, not just a learner of English.
So there you have it. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing, they're all connected. Improve one, and you'll see progress in the others. But to really master English, you need to work on all four consistently.
And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about showing up every day, practicing with intention, and enjoying the journey. Progress may be slow, but it will come.
Thanks for joining us today on the Master English podcast. We hope this deep dive into the 4 skills gives you the motivation and tools to keep going.
See you next time, and until then, keep practicing and believe in yourself. You're doing better than you think. Thanks for listening. Keep practicing every day, and you'll see real progress. Remember, small steps lead to big results. Don't give up, your English will get better with time. See you next time on the Master English podcast.